Okay, perfectly. So you're not a person who who has like Candy Crush or this kind of things.
No, maybe when I was younger,
Hmm.
the I don't know, the easy games in the basic cell phones. But no,
Ah,
Candy Crush,
exactly.
all these kind of things, no.
Snake and all that stuff before the smartphone.
Yes,
Before the smartphone.
exactly.
That
Yes,
makes
but I
sense.
think it's because now I don't have much time to do that.
Exactly. Once number one and number two, I think these type of games have become more and more complex with the time. If you see a snake and you compare this game with the games that you can carry today, they have become a massive business. You know, it has become a massive industry that carries a lot of money for a lot of people. In the past, for example, there was a price for some of the games, no? Like buying a game for PlayStation. You need to buy the station, but you also need to buy the games, no? And this has been the traditional monetization of this type of applications, this type of products, digital products. You see a game and you need to buy the game in a supplier store. Today, is so interesting that they are free for you, but they make millions of money, millions of dollars in revenue. Are you familiar with the word revenue?
Yes, the money that they gain
Uh-huh.
for the app,
The money that they earn.
earn, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Because you earn money and you gain muscle, for example. That's a different
yeah.
application. So, precisely when we are talking about money that you earn as a business, that has the principal product is free, is like, how did this happen? How these companies get millions of dollars in revenue when the principal product is free? Do you have any idea about this?
No, not really.
Not really. This is going
I
to
don't
be
know.
a
But I
surprise.
suppose that is like the YouTubers, the TikTokers. I don't know.
You have an
Some,
idea?
uh,
Yes.
but I'm not sure because if you could explain, maybe I open my TikTok today.
That's gonna happen. I can open my TikTok today. that you, I like your sense of humor. You're pretty funny. Okay. Well, let's see. Let's see. This video explains precisely how. So, you are going to use your listening skills to understand how it happens. Jimena saw the video yesterday, so she has a little bit of an idea. But I want to check, Jimena. This is Miriam. This is going to be a partner of you. I introduced her to you. I want you to complement everything between you two girls, okay? So, Jimena, you're gonna tell me in a moment what you understand. Miriam, you're gonna tell me what you understand, and together we are going to complement what we understand on the video. The video is, I think, 8 minutes long, 4 minutes long. So, let's try to catch it, because this information is number one, from a native person, and number two, with really, really fast path. So pay a lot of attention. Ready? Let's go.
After Pokemon Go was released in the US, it took less than a day before it was making more money than all the other apps in both Apple's and Google's app stores.
It's already earned $14 million in revenue since launching last Wednesday. Not even a full week.
But users didn't have to pay a cent for the game. All that money was coming from optional purchases people were making as they played. This is the world of freemium apps, a business model that in the past few years has largely wiped out the market for paid games. Now, game designers have to monetize the gameplay. And one way to do that is by applying some of the fundamental lessons of behavioral psychology. The first thing these games do is set up a virtual currency so that it doesn't feel like you're spending real currency, even though you are. This is a variation on something we've known for decades, which is that people find it harder to spend money when they're paying in cash than if they're using a card.
So when you pay cash for something, you see it leave your hands, and you get a very immediate sense of like how much your cash reserves have dropped, how much your wealth has dropped.
Games add yet another layer. You pay for lollipop boosters with gold bars, and you pay for gold bars with your credit card, which is already distanced from the actual payment. And then on top of that, they don't make the exchange rate simple. It's not 50 gems for 50 cents.
There's always something weird, like $1 will get you 12 purple diamonds. And that sort of off-kilter exchange rate is the same thing you see with people spending, tourists spending money that they're not familiar with in foreign countries.
If incense costs 80 poke coins and a batch of 550 poke coins costs $4.99, how much real money does incense cost? Yeah, I don't know either. So you're spending money that doesn't seem real, and it only takes a second because the App Store already has your credit card. The whole payment process is designed to be painless. Other parts of the game, however, are designed to be painful. A key finding of behavioral research is that people tend to experience unexpected losses more intensely than comparable gains. That can inform the timing of purchase prompts. In Puzzle & Dragons, players progress through a dungeon before facing a boss, and if they die, they stand to lose all the rewards that they just earned. That's when they're presented with the option to save their coins and their points by spending magic stones, which you can buy in the store with real money. Other developers actively embed inconvenience into the games so that you can purchase convenience. In Clash of Clans and Game of War, everything you try to build has wait times that get progressively longer but are skippable for a price.
So they build incentives to sort of remove pain points into the games, and then if they want that, then they have the incentive to insert pain points into the game.
Ultimately, though, only a tiny percentage of players actually become payers, and a small percentage of payers are those so-called whales, people who will spend hundreds, sometimes thousands of dollars in the app. The marketing firm Swerve estimates that about half of the revenue for mobile games is coming from less than 0.5% of all players. Which means that for some of these games, non-paying users, which is most people, are essentially pouring time into a game designed to hit the pain points of a small, susceptible group of players. If you're really having fun, that's great, but it might be worth rewarding games that find another way. As of now, the monetization in Pokemon Go is unobtrusive. It's kind of tucked away. And that lack of manipulation is a pretty good reason to buy some lure modules and some incense.
That's the idea. Pokemon Go. 100 Pokeballs for 460 Pokecoins, which are worth around 50 pesos in my experience, because I have bought Pokeballs. So, what did you learn in this video? Let's start with Jimena. Jimena, did you understand anything new from yesterday's view? After yesterday's view?
I understand the beginning that it talks about Pokemon Go. No, it talks about Pokemon Go, that is a free game, and it becomes a famous game that earned a lot of money per day.
Became, no? I think you're talking in past. It became.
What?
Became, because you're talking in past.
Sorry, became. It became a famous game that earned a lot of money, or obtain a lot of money by I don't know how to say that, selling some products to some products to to improve your Pokemon.
Exactly, very good. Improve your Pokemon experience, let's call it, because you don't improve the Pokemon. We never said that in the video. But
It also explained that this video game is famous in a lot of parts of the world
Good.
or all over the world.
Right.
And in the second part, I took just a small part that consists in the idea that people acquire no people pay money with the what is it? Target a card,
A card.
pay money with a card,
Mm-hmm.
and that's it.
Good. Exactly. That was something new that you didn't tell me yesterday. The payment process goes through cards. And then, do you know what was the payment process, or did you catch any information about the payment process?
No.
Okay, well, we know that it's with a card, right? That's the general idea. Let's keep it over there. What can you add from what Jimena said, Miriam? What did you understand from the video?
Well, you understand that at the beginning, the game is you can download to your cell phone for free,
Right.
but this is like the I don't know how to say the gancho
Okay,
to get
gancho in
the
English. Do you remember Peter Pan?
yeah, but I don't remember the name of the captain.
Okay, the captain in English is the Captain Hook.
Hook,
That's a hook.
okay.
So the same word
Yeah,
applies here.
hook. Okay. At the beginning, this is the hook. It's a free game. You can download on your cell phone and no problem. But then, if you want to improve, as Jimena mentioned, your Pokemon, you need to pay for that. Like I don't know if it are stuff to gain or to get a new level of your Pokemon or something like that. And you
Exactly.
pay with the credit card and you never see the money. You're not paying
Yes.
in cash. So you just put I need to I want this additional stuff and you never see the money go through the app. No? So
Exactly.
yeah, I think this is something that I could add. Um, And I understand, well, I remember the news of this game that was really impressive. All the people that in that moment were game this no were sorry were playing this game
Okay.
in like I don't know 5 years ago maybe. I remember the news.
Yes. At the beginning, no? The first part of the video.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
There was millions of downloads in the week of release, which translates to, imagine, it's like you said, if I had 1 peso by the amount of people that I have in Facebook, how many pesos would I have, you know? So in this case, it's the same issue with Pokemon Go. Each user can purchase some stuff, and at some point, especially with Pokemon Go, by experience, it becomes necessary. You have an amount of spaces in your Pokédex, and let's say that there are 150 Pokemons per generation. There are like, I think, 7 or 8 generations. But your Pokédex only has storage for 100. So whenever you are catching Pokemons here and there, you go through the city, walking, finding your animals. At some point, that's why the map. You explore the map, you find an animal, you catch it for your Pokédex, And then you need more space because you have 100 Pokemons already, and they are repeated, and you need to purchase more space. This is when the Pokemon cards exist, you know.
And also, I think it was um, the game have a lot of gamers because it was different. It was like a mix between the real life and the application and the app in your cell phone. So it was different, and maybe for this was very popular in that moment.
Of course, of course. You have something called augmented reality, which is using your camera. You can scan the place in your place in your around you, and then you see the characters in front of you in your cell phone. So it becomes super passionate for a fan. This is when the fan is like, you know what, I can pay for this. You know, they really love the experience. So that's why the question here that I have for you, Miriam, in this particular topic is, did you understand in the video how many people actually pay, how many users actually pay for the service?
How many?
Uh-huh.
Uh, like something like more than 1 million.
That's gonna be your focus point. You know, I'm gonna send you the video later. You will start checking the video once again, repeating the video with the vocabulary. And then after reading the vocabulary, you will probably catch this information. There they say explicitly, from the 100% of users that my application have, how many of them are actually paying? Where does the money come from? How many users actually have money to pay? Because some of them are kids, but some of them are adults. And Pokemon is a very old series, so the kids that saw Pokemon in the 2000, today they are 30 years old. So technically, there's a lot of people who pay.
Very young people.
Very young people. very, very young people,
Yeah.
very young millennials. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay. So technically they have the money to pay this stuff, you know? We have the money to pay this stuff. So that's why it's so interesting how this kind of business work today. There is a massive business around industry around video games, and that's the interesting part. So your challenge is, for the next class, if I have you here, I have the pleasure to have you here, we're gonna tell me how many people actually pay for these services. Okay?
Okay.
Let's go now to Silvana. Silvana, can you speak, or are you on the bus listening to us?
She's on her way.
She's on her way, and that's Isaac, right?
Now we're together.
Ah, okay. I thought like you had the confidence to enter her username, you know?
No, teacher.
No, Look. He cannot access my account, you know? Okay, Silvana, now that you can speak, tell me about the video. What did you learn today?
We arrived a little bit late, so I couldn't hear almost anything of the video. And yesterday I was in my way, and on my way, and the Metrobus was horrible. I don't know the name of this thing that just that is the air conditioner was awful, and it was very noisy, so I couldn't hear anything. Yeah.
Oh, come on. Yeah, they have to fix that stuff. Okay,
Yeah, but
worry.
I used to play Pokemon.
Did you play Pokemon Go?
Yes.
Yeah.
We played together.
Do you or did you?
Well,
I did.
We used to. I'm not playing anymore. Neither.
No
Me
more.
neither. No.
Yeah, because yesterday Isaac told me that he stopped. So, but you used to play together this thing.
Yeah. And actually, Isaac had a lot of Pokeparadas.
In English, Pokestops.
Okay, Pokestops around his house.
Oh, that's super cool.
Yeah, and in the subway, in the last station of the subway, it was a gym.
Oh,
And
cool. So you enter the subway and you could
yeah,
like get some.
and also I used to play it when I was in the university.
Oh
And in
yeah,
my
that's right.
university were a lot of pokeparadas. One of
Stops, Pokestops.
stops, sorry, Pokestops, and one of them was in front of one of my classrooms.
Oh dude,
So yeah,
you're
I
all
think
day
that Pokemon ruined my yeah my how do you say my
education.
grades. No.
Your grades, your scores, and everything.
Yeah.
Her future.
Really, I used to take the subway to get to the university because the subway is pretty much faster than the metrobus.
Yeah.
But when I played Pokemon, I
Mhm.
used to take the metrobus instead of the subway because I have to take the one line,
Mhm.
and that line one, and that line is full of Pokestops,
Pokestops.
and in one of that stations is Parque
Those.
Hundido.
One of those.
One of those stations is um,
Parque
Parque
Hundido.
Hundido.
Exactly.
And
So exactly in the station you can flip a.
yeah, yeah,
Uh-huh.
and there were many Pokemons
Mhm.
because it's a huge park and it has a lot of how do you say fuente? A
Fuente is a
fountain.
font. Fountain. Mhm.
Okay. There were a lot of fountains, and there were um, water Pokemons.
Water incomplete. Water is an complex noun.
Watery.
No, it's water type Pokemon.
Okay, water type Pokemon,
Uh-huh.
and
And
also
a mistake that we commit is to pluralize the word Pokemon. Because Pokemon is a name, we cannot pluralize it. You don't say Pokemons, you know? That's actually wrong.
It's
Pokemones.
Pokemon.
Pokemon is Jesus Christ. No hell no, that even in Spanish is incorrect. You don't say Pokemones, you know? We never say.
But it sounds great.
It sounds horrible. What are you talking about? It sounds like if you watch this series, you will never hear Ash Ketchum saying Pokemones, you know? It's just Pokemon. That's it. You have to go,
It sounds
okay.
weird to say. I'm going to speak in Spanish to say. Vamos a capturar Pokémon.
It's also okay.
No,
It's not,
Yeah.
you
it's
have to
just
say
okay.
Pokémons or Pokémonis.
No, hell no. Nobody says that. What are you talking about? Horrible, horrible Spanish, horrible English.
Oh, thank you.
Consistent.
No. Pokemones and Pokemons, you know? We
Well,
never we
but
never said that.
there were many Pokemon.
Yeah, wonderful. Like music to my ears. Pokemones. So that's so the topic of the conversation. Did you go to the did you pay actually in the app? Isaac said that he didn't. What about you?
No, I didn't, but many times I wanted to because you
Right.
could buy I don't know, like Pokeballs, or maybe no, I don't know how to say incubadora,
Incubator.
incubator, because I used to walk a lot, so I have many eggs, but I couldn't
Oh yeah,
um,
you're
um,
right.
I couldn't put them all into the incubators because they only give you, I think that one or two,
One. You only
and then
have
you
one that is
can
infinite.
win like an other one or two, maybe.
Yes, that was an
And there
issue.
were, yeah, but no, I have never paid for any
Some ins-
You know
game.
which one I paid a lot of money for? The storage upgrade.
The what? Ah, oh, yes.
That was I think the only one that is I think necessary and you cannot escape from it.
Yes, but well, I remember that you receive pocket coins defending the gyms, no?
Sometimes, and it was very rare, but you receive like one or two.
No, I received like 50 per day
Wow,
because
that's super.
I was,
Wow,
yes, I was there all the day while I was working.
dude, you had a benefit because like I lived in very away spaces and I never got the chance to use that. And also,
Yes.
I never protected one. I now that I remember, I think there was one in Centenario. There was one gym. I remember, but I was not playing enough. Oh, come on! So I could
So
have saved a
then,
lot of money.
if you were paying, you can be considered a whale.
I don't think so, dude. No, these guys actually got. After the first or second week, they already completed all the collection. So you can understand that if you have only a storage for 100 Pokemons, but there are 700 of them, you need at least to pay a couple of dollars to complete the full collection, right? So after a week spending all that money to complete your Pokédex, those are the whales. The whales are those who pay a lot of money in order to finish as soon as possible and be news because at the end they got popularity after that. No, so I spent some money on a storage upgrade. I think I did it twice or three times, but I really thought it was not necessary. You know, at the end I stopped playing. I stopped playing because it was like too much for nothing. And then Valorant came, and now I am poor. You know, but that's another story. You know.
But you could save more money when if you hadn't played
Bro, if I can play the Valorant or Pokemon Go,
Pokemon, no, or the other one.
dude, I'm gonna show you in secret how much I have spent on Valorant. And
Okay.
that's not my proudest number. That's not
I
my.
remember that you used to, or I don't know if you still have a YouTube account for gaming.
Yes, I actually do. And I show my numbers sometimes there. And you can see the skins, you know, the skins are cool. What can I tell you? That's my okay. Before passing to Jessica, because I really want to know if Jessica has played. I want to know if Jessie has paid for any video game, and then I'm gonna tell you a little bit of the game. But what motivated me to spend money, you know? So Jessie, have you ever paid in these kind of apps, or have you ever paid for an application on your phone?
I don't used to pay for play, but yes, for some application.
Okay, which is pretty similar.
For example, apps for, yes, how do you say editing photos.
Oh, do you pay Canva?
Yes, but okay, for
Yes.
example, yes, but for example, this app for my job, I design some images, some flyers, but in the cell phone, yes, for how do you say
Filters.
filters, and yes, only for that.
Have you paid
But,
for filters?
yes, only for that. but for play or others, not really.
What kind of filters are paid?
When filter like
Like in photo editors?
yes, like I don't know.
VSCO has
Uh-huh.
A paid
premium.
subscription.
Yes.
A premium version. Yeah, because all of these kind of apps that we grew up with eventually became freemium apps with extra features from the classic version, and that you needed to pay. Thanks to Spotify. Spotify started.
Yes, Isaac pays Spotify.
Precisely. Spotify, that was the first business that started with a freemium market, and it blew up. Everybody thought that the idea was fantastic. So thanks to Spotify, exist games like Pokemon Go, like Canva, the one of the filters, because that was the first one who started with the freemium model. So, and everybody has Spotify here, so we understand now the motivation to pay.
Yes, I am watching my cell phone, and it's just that those applications are.
Those are the only ones that you actually pay.
Yes, and Netflix.
And Netflix. I canceled Netflix after the controversy. I'm like, no. I'm not paying extra for another IP address. Yes, but definitely, the motivation of paying it comes from the heart. The reason you pay money in these kind of apps, it really comes from emotion. There's no other way, because none of these things are necessities per se. It's just fanatism and love that makes us run to pay for some stuff. So that's the interesting thing about all this world. In the game that I play, I have paid a lot of a stupid amount of money, because I think that it's so cool that they can provide a game for free. I think it's amazing that they can actually provide the full experience without paying. I never paid for any game that I play, which is like, wow. I think they need a little bit of a thank you. I will pay Pokecoins as a thank you, because it's free. I mean, and it's very difficult to make a program, to create the assets, the business model. It's a massive issue. So in my case, I really like this kind of business. But that was the point. That was the video that we are exploring right now. All right. Your vocabulary. Did you screenshot your vocabulary yesterday? I need to make it a little bit more beautiful. I'm sorry for the format, but here it is. Please send us the screenshot. Do you have it? Perfect, Jime. No. Never mind. Excellent. Thank you, Jime. That's great.
I have already sent it, teacher.
Thank you very much, Jime. Wazowski. All right, there you have it. Okay, so I need you to study this vocabulary, because we are precisely studying what yesterday we were checking yesterday, okay? So everybody pay attention on this, okay? So yesterday we were analyzing what questions can help me understand the information that I don't have. Because when we are listening, in my exercises, I go directly to letter by letter, word by word. But if we don't understand one word, what do? What is the solution? How can I know if the word is a verb or is an adjective or is an adverb, or what kind of word information I need in this space? Well, a nice strategy that I was teaching you yesterday was using questions to make a reference on the part that you forgot, the part that you didn't understand. Let's imagine, for example, I'm going to repeat a little bit of what we saw yesterday, okay? So Isaac, bear with me. Do you understand the expression, bear with me?
Could you repeat the expression?
Bear with me. I'm going to show you this. Bear like the grizzly bear.
Is it something like count on me?
No, it's a little different. Bear with somebody and something. Action, Isaac.
Yes, bear with somebody. So something. To be patient with somebody. To be patient with somebody. Something. Okay. Oh yes, no worries.
So it's like this is going to be tedious. So for you, it's going to be the same explanation again. So bear with me, so the girls can know what we're talking about.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. You have this information, and let's imagine that you catch everything except the first section, right? The first sentence in the video goes like this. After Pokemon Go was released in the US, it took less than a day before it was making more money than all the other apps in both Apple's and Google's App Store. That's the first sentence that we have in the video. Okay? As you can see, it's so much information, but it's there. Listen, confirmation.
After Pokemon Go was released in the US, it took less than a day before it was making more money than all the other apps in both Apple's and Google's app stores.
Do you agree with me? That's the same information? Yes, okay. So very good. Come on, guys. Wake up. I need you here.
Well, my hand disappeared.
Your hand disappeared?
No.
Okay. Well, you understand, right? We understand what we have here. So this is the idea. This is the first idea that we get, right? If you make a subdivision of this sentence, we have after Pokemon Go was released in the US, which is another phrase, then we have a comma, then we have a person-verb complement interconnected with the conjunction before. As we have known, connectors of two ideas are called conjunctions. Conjunction. Right? It took less than a day, conjunction before, and after before we have again person-verb complement. It was making more money than all the other apps in both Apple's and Google's App Store. When we listen, we catch this information. And this is the part that you paraphrase. The idea that we pass to Spanish in order to explain it again in our English version. But that affects the way we speak, because we are not using words from the video. We are using our own words, and it becomes slow to your progress. It doesn't help your progress. So the best way is to attack a listening word by word, part by part, subdivision by subdivision. Okay? The analysis goes like this. This idea, it took less than a day, can be transformed into this. It, person, verb took, then less than, which is a comparative, and the connector than is always used with a noun, a day. This subdivision can help you understand what portion of information you missed. The question is, what happens when you don't know or you don't remember a section of the sentence? Let's imagine that you only understood it took less than a day. It took less than a day before it was making more money than all other apps in Google. What happened to the first idea? The first section can be corrected or can be completed if you ask yourself the correct question. This first idea is purple, which is an... What kind of family is it?
Which word?
Purple. What word family is purple?
Adverb.
It's an adverb. And according to the definitions, adverbs
Talking about time.
are talking about time, precisely. Time or how, it depends. It can be the how, the when, the where, and the why. In this case, the original idea has the word after, which is precisely, as Silvana says, is talking about time. So the question you need to ask yourself is, when did this happen? And what happened? When was Pokemon Go making more money than all the other apps, which includes all the information that you have later? You know, it took less than a day. When was Pokemon making more money? Right here. It was making more money than all other apps. This information, we are using the information in part 2 to complete the question of part 1. I'm using the comprehension of part 3 to understand part 1 and try to complete. When you hear the when, it can help you find the word after, for example. After something. And in this case, in this point, is when I repeat. Now that you understand that you need a time and you remember the word after, I can play the video again so you can complete this section. This is why it's so important to make a division and divide our sentences. If you allocate what type of information is necessary, you can repeat the video and locate the correct information. You know? If you tell me, I need a verb, we are lost. You know, we are not in the same channel, definitely. So, questions. Are you understanding what I have here?
Yes, the adverb.
Can you repeat, Jime? I didn't hear you.
Could you repeat the question?
My question is, did you understand?
Yes.
What did you understand?
The meaning, no, the function of the adverb.
The function of the adverb. But I'm
The
not
structure?
asking, no, I'm not asking about the function of the adverb. I'm not teaching about the action of the adverb. I'm teaching about how questions can help us understand the missing information.
Yes, teacher. The question and function to understand I don't know how to say that, the
Type
word
of
that you
word.
need in a sentence.
The word that you missed when you heard the video. The word that you missed when you heard the video. Remember that we're working with listening. We're working only with listening. How can I improve my listening? How can I understand the portions that I didn't understand? For example, you spoke about the credit card, right, Jime?
Yes.
The rest of the information was in the video. What's the payment process? I don't remember. Right? Well, these questions can help you understand the rest of the information.
Okay.
So what you need to do in this case, in this moment, is to learn how to create these questions. And we are going to help ourselves with the next idea. It was making more money than all the other apps in both Apple's and Google's App Store. Okay? We are going to ignore the conjunction before for a moment. Okay? And we are going to go directly with the person it. So what question can we use if we forgot the person in the second case? Who can tell me? Now, Isaac, now that I gave the explanation again, probably you can tell me what's the correct question here.
Who?
What, no?
What or who? Can be, eh?
What? Why what?
Can be what too.
Because we are not referring to a person. We are
Exactly.
referring to what are we talking about?
You tell me. In this case, what does it correspond to?
To after something happened.
Oh, sorry, it's incomplete. After Pokemon Go was released in the
yes.
US.
After before it. Yes. After Pokemon Go were released in the US, before it was I think that it refers to Pokemon Go, no? It was making.
Exactly.
Refer to Pokemon Go.
That's correct. So it refers to Pokemon Go. So that's the reason you need a question what.
Yeah.
What? What Isaac? Your question is incomplete.
Yes. What? Let me analyze it. After Pokemon Go were released in the US, before what?
Be careful. I'm listening that you are reading after Pokemon Go was released in this comma before.
It's not.
Exactly, it doesn't make sense because this is a connector of two ideas.
Okay.
Idea number one is this.
Okay, then I think that we what was making more money than all other apps?
Excellent. What was making more money than all of the apps? Let's move this here. Let's move all of this over here. Very good. Just repeat. What?
Making more money than all of the others in both Apple and Google's App Store.
You can leave it over there.
Yes.
Etcétera, etcétera, etcétera. Perfect. Why the first question is who, and the answer is it, and what? Why the second example is what, and the person is it. Who took less than a day? What was making more money than all the other apps? I think the first question should be what too.
Yes. Agree.
Because in the first case, we are not talking about Pokemon Go. The second, yes. But the first is used to describe a situation. It meaning a situation. Every time we are talking about a pronoun it can take a person, no, not a person, an animal, an object, a situation, or the time. Like when you say, what time is it? So that's the reason it is very flexible. It can be a what or it can be a who, according to what we are talking about. Okay, if you're talking about an animal, it's who, eh? Actually. But that is the idea. Right? Did you know that information? Any question?
No.
Cool. Cool. So then let's go to the next. What question can be answered with the word was making? Jesse.
What um, what did you do?
Nice, you're very close. The question should be with the verb do. In that case, is correct. What is incorrect is the person you. Why are you using the person you? Because who did the action?
Yes. Was making.
Selecting what is correct, eh? What and do. Those two sections are correct. But then,
Okay.
what do
I
you?
think it's what did it do?
Very good. What did it do? Now that you fixed the person, you understood the person.
Yes.
Understand also the tense, because the verb is not in past exactly.
What? I don't remember. What?
This is the challenge. Master these formulas.
What was? I don't remember.
Try to remember. Come on. Do you have your structures handbook with you?
Yes.
Open it. What is the structure for a question using ing?
Future.
It's not future.
No,
Well, it's future
no,
or
yes, it's
what do you need first?
was.
Was. Exactly. You have the verb was here. This is the auxiliary.
Was doing.
Was doing. Who?
It was it doing. Right?
Who? It, yes. And now what happened with the first word?
What was it doing?
Exactly. What was it doing? That's correct. Question. Your formula now, Jessie, is correct. Is that enough information?
I think yes.
Well, that's incomplete. We need a little bit more information from the rest of the sections to understand what particular, what is the thing that you refer.
It was making more money. Where was it?
Because if you ask me, what was it doing? I can respond with when.
Okay. Yes.
You know? Because I don't have context. So what was it doing when?
What I am not it's about the app, right?
It's about the app.
Yes.
No. The verbs have a very close connection with the adverb or the time expression, as you have it in the structures handbook. The time expression determines the tense of the verb.
Yes.
What is the time expression in this sentence? It's actually by color.
Yes. Okay. Yes. When I am not sure, maybe the same. When was it doing?
No, I get it. Answer my question. What is the time expression in this sentence?
Past continuous.
The time expression, not the grammatical tense.
Before it was making more money than all other apps.
Wrong. That is the second idea, but that is not the time, the context of the sentence.
The time.
Context. I
am not sure. The time about the context.
The whole situation.
Okay.
Yeah, because if you say what was he doing, I'm gonna ask you what was he doing when.
Okay.
So what's the time expression in this sentence? It's by color. What color are time expressions in your handbook? All the time expressions. Let me open the handbook.
I am not sure, teacher.
Let me help you. These are the time expressions.
Yes.
In what color are they?
Purple.
Purple is the color of adverbs.
Okay.
You see? All the adverbs tell you the time. So the when for this verb corresponds to this. Complement the question. What was he doing?
What was it doing?
When?
No, teacher, I am not sure. Like the example.
What do you mean?
Did this happen? when, but it's other question or it was what
It's a complement of this question. Because if you don't give me the complement, I don't understand the context of your question. If I ask
think what
you,
was it doing more money? No.
We need comprehension. Okay, we need to practice your comprehension. No. You need to check that was making has a specific context.
Yes.
And the context that when this happened, or when this was happening, it was happening after Pokemon Go was released in the US. So technically, if you ask me what was it doing, and I ask you when, you need to respond, oh well, what was it doing?
After Pokemon.
Pokemon really exactly.
Okay. Yes.
All this?
Okay. Yes. Sorry, I didn't have the context.
Exactly. Because in a normal conversation, if you ask me what was it doing,
yes,
I have super incomplete information. I don't know what to respond. What was it doing? Who? Assuming that I know it, then doing what and when? Because was doing or was making needs a specific context.
Yes.
No? If you only say what did it do, okay, that's a very casual conversation. I understand the context. What did it do? I can tell you the response. But if you tell me what was it doing, I need more. I need more information. I need more context.
Okay.
That's the one. Got it?
Yes.
Good. Now for the adjective. In the next question, we have an adjective, more money than. Okay? What is the question that corresponds to that answer? Let's say Silvana. Let's see how observant are you.
I'm sorry, can you repeat the question?
What's the question that we need if we don't know this information? This one over here.
How much money?
How much money? More money. Excellent. Of course.
Because you have done.
But anyway, an adjective is always responded after the question how plus an adjective. For example, if you say, my father is 2 feet tall. The question is, how tall is your father?
Yeah.
You see? So how much money? And then?
Was making?
Was making. Perfect. Was who making?
It.
Formulas. Exactly. Complete idea.
I say it, well, how much money was it making?
Much better. Excellent. That sounds good. How much money was it making? If you need to give more context, what context should you use?
How much money? No, let me think. How much money? How much? No, you can say how much more or yes, could you?
No, exactly. You cannot. The word more responds the word much.
How much money?
Your verb is correct. How much money was it making? You only need context, similar to what happened to Jesse. If you ask me how much money was it making, I will answer you When?
Okay. It's because I think that you want me to say to include like a comparative
No.
than the
If
other
you.
apps, but is how much money was it making before it after it was released?
Aha, exactly. Precisely. Good. Good job. Next, Jimena. What is the question that we use for answering all the other apps? When the answer is all the other apps, what's the question?
Um, mm, all the other apps. What it was they making? No.
What was they making? No, impossible. That doesn't match with the answer.
What? Mm, who? Who? No.
Who? And what is the question?
Who was making more money?
Oh, if you had a question, who was making more money? My answer is Pokemon Go,
Okay.
not all the other apps.
Uh-huh.
Another one. Use this as a reference. More money than.
All the other apps.
Do you understand the sentence?
Yes.
Why are we mentioning the all the other apps?
What?
Why are you mentioning all the other apps in the sentence?
I don't understand that you say.
Why is the sentence mentioning all the other apps?
Because they are no. We are comparing
We are comparing.
the Pokemon Go app with other apps.
Aha. But we are comparing something
So
more specific
which
about
app?
Pokemon Go. No.
Which app? No.
No. Listen. What is the characteristic that we are comparing about Pokemon Go? Because we're not comparing the app. We are comparing something more specific.
And the money that apps are making?
That is your cue.
Okay. Which app is making more money?
Wrong. The answer for that is Pokemon Go. The answer should be all the other apps.
I don't know, teacher.
Come on, don't surrender. Why do you surrender? Why do you stop thinking? Don't stop thinking.
No, teacher. So, it's difficult.
I know that is difficult, but that's not a reason to stop.
Okay. I'm not going to surrender.
Excellent girl.
Okay, I will try. What?
You said the most important part is Pokemon Go was making more money than all the other apps. How do you isolate the second part?
Okay. Why? No, why not? what apps are
Uh-huh.
were making less
Mhm.
money than
Okay,
Pokemon Go?
using the opposite. Using the
Uh-huh.
opposite, that's option number one, eh?
Okay.
That can be, eh? I was not thinking in that question, but that's a
No,
possibility.
that's a possibility for me. To me,
Which apps, repeat?
which apps were making more money than than Pokemon Go app?
More? Nah.
No, much money.
Much?
No. I said less. Sorry.
Ah,
Less money.
exactly. Less
Less money than
than Pokemon Go.
Pokemon Go.
Exactly. So you can use antonyms in your favor. Antonyms can actually help you understand how to complete the sentence. The answer to this question is all the other apps.
Exactly.
You know?
Okay.
You get it?
It was difficult.
But that's not the question that I was thinking about. We are going to take it because it was a very nice solution. Honestly, in this case, nouns are the most difficult questions to ask because precisely they are nouns. They have many names. Nouns are names. So how can you make a question for a name? The only question is what or which. So I think that because we need the word apps, we cannot use the word apps, which take us to the word what. What was making
Less money.
Wait. Who? You can know what? What did Pokemon Go affect because it was making more money? Or what did Pokemon Go affect by making more money? So you can use more information at your favor to understand what information we have here. Does it make sense?
Yes. Thank you.
Your option though, Jimena, your option was amazing. Good job.
Teacher, I couldn't have I don't know how to say that. I cannot have those ideas, the second and the third.
Yes, you can. We only need to understand the sentence because the verb affect, in this case, I use the word affect because I understand the context. But you understood making less money, which is the context of the sentence. So this part was actually a very nice solution. Very nice solution to the problem.
There are a lot of ways to solve the same thing.
Exactly. That's the magic about language. There's so many ways to say the same thing. You need to even find the most effective. You get it? Finally, Isaac, how do you solve the problem if you don't know the last information in both Apple's and Google's App Store?
I don't know.
Excellent. Let's see you tomorrow. Very good job.
It could be in which app store? No, yes, could it be in which app store is Pokemon Go making more money than all other apps?
In which app store?
No, which is Pokemon Go making more money than all other apps in? No, I'm not sure.
Oh wow, That was too complicated.
Yeah.
The first one was really nice, but how would you make the same sentence without saying App Store?
App Store.
The idea is that you don't use any of the words that you're missing.
And Google App Store. In both Google and...
The word in is indicating place.
Yes.
What is the question for place?
Where? Where is Pokemon Go making more money than all other apps?
Excellent.
Okay.
In present or past?
In past. Where was Pokemon money?
Whoa. What is Pokemon money?
Sorry. Where was Pokemon making more money than all other apps?
What's the name of the app?
Pokemon Go.
That's Go. Again.
Where was Pokemon Go was making more money
You
than...
repeated was.
Oh, sorry. Where was Pokemon making more money than all the other apps? No?
The name is incomplete.
Oh, yes. Where was Pokemon Go making more money than all the other apps?
Yes! Let's go! Let's go, my people. That is the question. Answer to where was Pokemon Go making more money than all the other apps?
Yes.
In both Apple's and Google's App Store.
He said answer.
Yes, I said the answer.
No, it's because I don't know, it sounds strange.
That's the thing about questions in English, you know? Questions in
O sea,
English.
I'm sorry. It seems like it is something left. I don't know. At first I will put another to be verb, but I think
Where?
because I'm thinking maybe in Spanish.
How was your solution? What do you mean?
Maybe because you use making and not make. Maybe my brain is thinking that I need
another. Okay. Yes, because that's something that happened to Jesse in this moment, and something that actually happened to Isaac too. When you transform the verb make and use the verb made or making, the formula is different. So verbs in ing, questions with verbs in ing are the most difficult for Spanish speakers because we are considering the standard is do or dos. So how do you make a question? Do. Okay, but what happens with will? You can make a question with will, you can ask a question with must, and you can ask a question with the verb to be. Right?
Yeah, I think that's the problem because in my brain I could think that the answer is where does Pokemon Go is making more money than all the other apps.
Of course, but now that's a very common mistake. And actually, it's a great thing that you touched that topic. We confuse these two. Actually, we're using two formulas and we're creating a horrible Frankenstein. The auxiliary does is for routines, and the auxiliary was plus ing is for things that were happening, momentary actions.
Okay.
So then you are combining two sentences.
That only happened once.
We cannot use more than one auxiliary in one sentence. How do you feel if I tell you, for example, why does must, can, will, should, was, did your homework?
I quit at this course.
Exactly. It's like, what? You know, like, dude, select one auxiliary, you know? Well, the same. Where does Pokemon Go was making is a monster, a Frankenstein, an idiotic Frankenstein. That was a good solution, a good thing that I needed you to know. So perfect. My people, you're doing a fantastic job. Excellent class. We finished for today. I'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you, teacher. See you.
Right?
Thank you.
Good job, my guys.
Thank you.
See you tomorrow. Good job, Jimmy. You're doing a great job.